Morning, I'm in the kitchen again, and today I'm making a curry and I'm using roasted squash and chickpeas. So let's have a look at what we've got. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my squash. You've seen me do this before. We're going to top and tail it. That just gives us a better base to work on. Just going to take this top bit off. That's it. I'm being very, very careful. I'm going to cut in half. Scoop out the seeds. Then I'm going to cut into slices. Good amount of olive oil. What I sometimes do is just dip them in the olive oil. You can do this as you go, but I sort of like to do them all in one go, like this. So these are going to go into the oven at 200 degrees for approximately 15 minutes. Which will then give us time to prepare a few more ingredients. I'm using an array of spices. Some are seeds, some are powders, but for ease I'm going to put everything into the pestle and mortar. And I'm going to just give it a good mix, but I'm going to start with the seeds first of all. So I'm starting off with cardamom pods, and I'm just extracting the seeds out of the little green pods. I'm not sure whether you can see that properly. And popping them in here to use the pestle and mortar to grind them up. I've got some mustard seeds, just going to add a teaspoon of them. I really want this curry to be full of flavour and have a depth to it as well. We've got some fennel seeds, putting a teaspoon of those in. Okay, so that's all of our seeds, so let's give these a crush now. Oh, the smell is divine, absolutely lovely. Okay, I've got some cumin, adding a good heaped teaspoon. I've got coriander next, a rounded tablespoon, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, about a quarter of a teaspoon of ground cloves, a rounded teaspoon of turmeric, about a quarter of a teaspoon of chilli powder. Just going to go in and just give all that a good stir and an extra crush. Meanwhile, the squash is now out of the oven, and don't know whether you can see, but the very tips are starting to go brown, and yeah, they're looking delicious, so they can just sit to one side. I've transferred my spices to a bowl, and I'm going to add a little water and turn this into a paste. Okay, there's our curry paste. That can sit to one side. So just as an aside, I've got a batch of chickpeas cooking in the Instant Pot. That's going to take about an hour or so, so I'll be adding those at the end of the cooking period. So to make the curry sauce, we've got our curry paste. I've got some black pepper, salt, a couple of tins of tomatoes, a tin of coconut milk. I've got 4 blocks of frozen ginger and 4 blocks of frozen garlic, and a couple of chopped red onions. You can use white onions if you want to. And of course we'll be using a bit of olive oil. Let's get the heat on. Good splash of olive oil. Let's get the onions in. As usual, we want to cook these until they're soft. As soon as they start to soften, turn the heat down a little bit. We're going to add the frozen garlic and the frozen ginger. The garlic and the ginger break down fairly rapidly on a medium to low heat. And they're really convenient to use. It saves chopping and peeling. And they have a really good flavour. So just let them break apart, but don't have the heat on too high at this stage. You're going to be increasing the heat a little bit when we add the spice. Just turn the heat up a little bit. As soon as the garlic and the ginger is almost liquid, add your spice mix. Give the spice mix a good stir and let that just fry gently for a few minutes, just to really get it going. Okay, once that's been cooking for a couple of minutes, reduce the heat to low. Add your tomatoes. I'm going to rinse the tins out about a third of the way with water. Add that water. Do both tins. Increase the heat a little bit. Make sure all the tomatoes are roughly chopped up. I'm going to bring this back up to a simmer. Good amount of black pepper. Good amount of salt. Once that's come to the boil, reduce the heat and put it onto a low simmer and let that simmer for about 20 minutes or so with a lid on. So really low heat, 20 minutes or so with a lid. Okay, that's our basic sauce. So after about 20 minutes, what I tend to do with a curry is I check the seasoning. So I've had a little taste, it's got a nice amount of acidity. It's got a nice amount of spiciness to it, but it could do with a little bit more depth. So I'm going to give it a good dash of liquid aminos. If you don't have liquid aminos, you can use soy sauce. It's very similar. So I'm just giving it a good dash. I'm just going to check it again just by tasting a little. I feel as though it needs something else. I think it might be a little pinch of sugar that is required. So I'm adding a good teaspoon of sugar just to balance that acidity. And this is important when you're cooking a dish, you know, check your seasoning. Check that it tastes the way you want it to taste. And if it doesn't, make a few adjustments. Try it again. I am enjoying trying it, but it's just still needs a little bit more umami. I'm adding more liquid aminos. And of course we've yet to add the coconut milk, which will add another dimension, and of course we've yet to add the squash and the chickpeas. So the chickpeas are cooked and steaming hot, so I'm going to add approximately 300 grams of the cooked chickpeas to the sauce. I'm going to turn the heat back on onto a low heat. I'm going to chop half of the squash and add it to the curry. So we've stirred in half of that squash, we've reserved the rest of it, so we're going to let this come to a simmer and just let it reduce a little bit and intensify the flavours and let some of this squash break down. I'm going to add the rest of the squash later and do the same thing, just simmer it so it softens. But the aim here is to get this squash that we've added to break down. So that's simmering, so we'll just make sure it's on a low light and just let that do its thing for a while. So after about 15-20 minutes of simmering, you'll notice that most of the pumpkin has started to break down and it's adding to this thickness of the sauce that you can see. It's then time to add the rest of the pumpkin. And the reason we do this in stages is because we don't want all of the pumpkin to completely disappear. We want a little bit of bite along with the chickpeas and a little bit of interest as well. So I'm going to move this now onto a smaller burner and just let that cook away just for maybe 15 minutes, and then we'll be able to add the coconut milk. Lid on and onto a small burner. So after 15 minutes further cooking, it's really thickened up and it's time to add the final ingredient, which is the coconut milk. So that's ready to serve now. If you want to, I'm going to let it sit for a while because we're not quite ready to eat just yet. And I'm sure it's going to be delicious. So Paul, try my squash and chickpea curry with brown rice.
Oh, that's lovely. That's got a really deep flavour. It's really warm and warming. Smells delicious too.
Well, there's quite a few spices in there to give it that depth.
It's really creamy. Is there coconut milk? Delicious.
That's good.
It's really good.
Well
Perfect.
worth the effort.
Was it a lot of effort?
Well, different stages, you know.
It's lovely, and actually I know you had to cook the chickpeas because we didn't have any in tins.
That was an extra stage.
But the texture of them is much nicer. They've got a firmness to them. Canned chickpeas are always lovely, but sometimes they're a bit soft, and I think the texture in this is really nice.
That's delicious.
And of course such a wonderfully grown squash as well.
Again, added in stages, so some of it's broken down, some of it stayed firm. So a bit fiddly, but well worth that lovely taste. It's almost got a tikka masala taste.
Without the cream.
Well, it's got coconut milk.
I know, but tikka
has got a lot
masala's got cream in it.
Yeah, I know, but it's a similar flavour range. We're gonna get on and eat this, so thanks for watching and happy cooking and eating.